Washington has ended a rebate program that refunded farmers who paid fuel surcharges under the state's Climate Commitment Act, despite being exempt in paying them. The program, which ran from August of 2024 through this past June, returned nearly $7.9 million across 2,700 applications. Lawmakers tried to extend it, but final budget negotiations left it unfunded. Instead, new legislation directs the Department of Ecology to maintain an online map of fuel retailers who sell exempt agricultural fuel without the added surcharges. The goal is to help farmers and haulers avoid extra costs at the pump rather than apply for rebates after they fuel up. The Climate Commitment Act exempts agricultural, maritime, and aviation fuel use, but farmers have reported surcharges of up to 80 cents a gallon due to confusion and faulty implementation. And a weak La Niña has developed in the Pacific Ocean. It's expected to persist through winter, setting up what could be a colder, wetter season across the Pacific Northwest. Historically, La Niña winters bring more frequent storms to our region with heavy rain at lower elevations and above average snowfall in the mountains. This year's La Niña is expected to be a weak one, but even small changes in Pacific Ocean temperatures can shift the jet stream, and that may steer more moisture-laden systems directly here into Washington and Oregon. This is Newsradio KONP.
This is Lori Force, running for Hospital Commissioner Position 7. I'm a nurse practitioner with years of hospital experience. Now I volunteer at our local free clinic. I moved here knowing we had a vibrant community hospital. Like many of you, I would have hesitated to move here without it. Now our hospital's in financial crisis. We must balance our checkbook to stay open. To get it right, we must protect patient services, maintain quality and safety, and stretch every dollar. I can help strike that balance. Thank you for your vote.
Paid for by Force for OMC.
When I was a kid, I always looked forward to harvest time every year for fresh apples and delicious cider. This is Dale from Wilder Auto, and I would like to invite you to come harvest a great selection of end-of-year super specials. The time is right for great savings, and with over 100 lenders, hefty rebates and lease incentives, and some of the best brands on the planet, why would you go anywhere else? For best selection, stop by today or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
Get ready to dance this Saturday night at the Squim VFW. It's Black Diamond Junction, playing the classic hits of the 1970s and 80s. From Fleetwood Mac to Journey, the songs you know and love played live. The fun happens 6 to 8 p.m. and the public is welcome. And hey, it's Halloween season, so costumes are encouraged too. Come dance, sing, and celebrate with Black Diamond Junction this Saturday, 6 o'clock at the Squim VFW.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Mainly cloudy skies expected this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 57, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain tonight, lows level off around 45, cloudy skies expected. Rain likely tomorrow, highs level off around 57, cloudy skies expected. Mid-50s Friday with heavy rain likely. Cooler Saturday with highs in the upper 40s and showers. Looking at the long range, 49 Sunday, 49 Monday, and 49 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 52.
$40 and a loss. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Luka Doncic drops 43 points on the NBA's opening night last night, but he and the Lakers playing without LeBron James to start the season fall at home to the Warriors, 119-109. Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry combined for 54 in the win. In Oklahoma City, Thunder get their championship rings, then outlast Houston in double overtime, 125-124. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finishes with 35 points. Kevin Durant had 23 in his Rockets debut, fouled out in the second overtime. KD, former Thunder, fans haven't forgotten he heard boos in his return to OKC. Meanwhile, in Boston, standing ovation for an emotional Brad Marchand in his first game back after being traded by the Bruins last season.
To be honest, I was really trying not to look around too much early on. It was tough. I just wanted to kind of get moving and try to get into the game. And once you're in the game, you kind of forget about everything else. It worked out nice there early on, but it was a very, very crazy game. Fun one for the fans for sure.
He has 2 assists as Panthers win 4-3. Devils get past Toronto 5-2 for their 5th consecutive win. Mammoth, a 4th straight win. They beat Colorado in overtime. Kings edge the Blues 2-1 in overtime. Connor McDavid with his first goal of the season. Oilers get past the Senators in OT. Penguins fell behind 1-0, but then scored 5 unanswered. They beat Vancouver 5-1. Sidney Crosby, 3rd straight game with a goal. Ducks beat the Predators 5-2. No goals for Alex Ovechkin, but the Capitals beat the Kraken 4-1. Islanders edge the Sharks 4-3. San Jose remains the only winless team in the NHL. Baseball, Angels hire Kurt Suzuki as their new manager. Dodgers will start Blake Snell in Game 1 of the World Series Friday. The NFL upholding the 1-game suspension for Broncos linebacker Dre Greenlaw. He'll miss the game against Dallas on Sunday.
Turning to local sports, the Port Angeles Rough Rider girls soccer team took the field at Sequim High School last night with all the confidence and firepower of an Olympic League contender chasing North Kitsap for the league's runner-up spot. But a scrappy pack of wolves had some other ideas. Sequim came out fierce in the first half, attacking like a wolf pack, dragging down a bison. Sophomore Kaya Robinson, granddaughter of Peninsula College Hall of Famer Jerry Allen, drew first blood with a straight-on rocket into the back of the net, giving the Wolves a 1-0 lead. Sophomore Ruby Horgan-Moxley, playing with the poise of a senior, was everywhere on the field, setting up scoring chances and pressuring the Rough Rider defense. Robinson's goal gave Sequim some confidence and momentum as they head into the half. But great teams find another gear when they need it, and in the second half, Port Angeles' size, speed, and athleticism took over. In the 49th minute, Becca Manson tied the game off a pinpoint pass from Emma Desjardins, Manson's 4th goal of the season. Then in the 75th minute, Lillian Lancaster put the Rough Riders ahead 2-1 after Tiana Clark made a sliding defensive play and sent a perfect through ball her way. Lancaster sealed the win in the 81st minute, taking another pass from her cousin, Emma Desjardins, and firing home her 4th goal of the season. Both teams recorded 11 shots on goal last night. Rough Rider keeper Kennedy Ronglin finished with 5 saves. With the 3-1 victory, Port Angeles improves to 9-3 and will host Bremerton Thursday night. Sequim will welcome 9th-ranked North Kitsap. In other Olympic League action, Sequim volleyball topped Port Angeles 3-1. In the pool today, Port Angeles visits North Kitsap and Sequim hosts Bremerton. Both meet starting at 3:30. And in high school tennis, the Olympic League tournament opens up today at North Kitsap with an 8 a.m. start.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
And may I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, hear the story behind the Timeless Treasures concert with the Sequim City Band and Port Angeles High School Band. Plus, Citizen Air pilot Zoltan Belady in to talk about that group. And Amanda Bacon joins us with a Bacon Bit.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy Farmers Insurance.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Trump administration is weighing software export restrictions on China, similar to moves the U.S. has made on Russia. Any sweeping tech restrictions on China could disrupt economies already struggling with the impact of President Trump's tariffs. If you've expanded beyond sports betting and into the predictions market, you're not alone. Trading volume on Polymarket and Kalshi has just hit a new record high. The market could get even bigger soon with CME Group looking to enter. And the National Hockey League has just announced multi-year deals with Kalshi and Polymarket, becoming the first major U.S. sports league to agree to work with the predictions platforms. And food-scented perfumes are apparently proliferating alongside Ozempic use. The trend, according to experts on TikTok, possibly driven by people seeking to satisfy food cravings through scent. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Angelus Furniture is home to your Stressless by Eckernes experts. Right now is the time to take a look around your living room or office area and ask yourself, does this move me? If the answer is no, let's change that. Stop by Angela's Furniture today and take advantage of 10% off all stressless furniture. Live in a space that moves you by its beauty. Stop by Angela's Furniture today and find out about 10% off all stressless furniture.
Leeds Farm Supply is your locally owned LS tractor dealer. But did you know that it's the only locally owned service center too? Leeds offers you complete service on all your LS tractors from day one. They have 2 full-time trained technicians, a fully stocked parts department, and competitive pricing for a quick turnaround. Call or text today at 360-452-1400 or stop in at 259-110 Highway 101 in Sequim. Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales, your local farm store, and so much more.
ABC Entertainment News.
No shoes, no shirt.
Fresh off being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame earlier this week, Kenny Chesney has announced some new performances at the Las Vegas Sphere. The country star will play 5 shows starting June 19th of next year. Tickets go on sale October 31st.
Christy, wake up now!
As fans count down to the 5th and final season of Stranger Things, the show's creators are tamping down on speculation around the character of Eddie Munson. The Duffer Brothers tell Empire magazine Eddie, played by Joseph Quinn, won't be coming back from the dead, with Matt Duffer saying he's fully under that ground.
We're sending you back to the future!
And happy birthday to Christopher Lloyd. He played the mad scientist Doc Brown in the Back to the Future movies. He also had roles in The Addams Family and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Lloyd is 87. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
A new study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine suggests you may need fewer steps than the typical 10,000 steps to lower your risk of dying. ABC's Michelle Franzen explains.
The New York Researchers at Mass General Brigham say as little as 4,000 steps a day, 3 or more times a week, may reduce your risk of early death by up to 40% and lower your heart risk by 27%. The study tracked more than 13,000 women 62 and older for a week between 2011 and 2015 and then monitored them for more than a decade. They even found women who walked 4,000 steps once or twice a week had a 26% lower risk of death. The findings, part of an observational study, and excluded anyone with prior cardiovascular disease or cancer and did not consider other factors such as diet.
Concerns rising that Amazon, the country's second largest private employer, planning one of the biggest workplace transformations in modern history. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more on that.
The New York Times, citing leaked documents, reports Amazon expects sales to double by 2033, growth that would normally require 600,000 more workers. But the company is reportedly looking to fill those jobs with robots and automate 75% of its operations. In the near future, Amazon reportedly estimates automation could help it save more than $12 billion and shave about 30 cents off each item it ships.
Big entertainment companies hinting that it might be open to a buyout. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
Warner Brothers Discovery had wanted to split its holdings, including HBO, HBO Max, Warner Brothers TV, and Motion Picture Group, CNN, Discovery, and TNT into 2 separate companies, one focusing on streaming and the other on cable. Now the entertainment behemoth confirms it's gotten buyout offers and would be open to selling the entire company. Possible buyers are said to include Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Broken heart syndrome is a very real medical condition that can be brought on by extreme emotional or physical events, like the death of a loved one. The clinical term is Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, or TC, and it occurs when the heart muscle is flooded with stress hormones, essentially causing it to freeze in place. As the heart struggles to properly pump blood, symptoms resemble those of a heart attack. Now, while TC is far more commonly diagnosed in women, a new study out of the University of Arizona found men are more than twice as likely to die from the condition when they do have it. That could be because of hormones, misdiagnosis, or the fact that men generally tend to seek care later than women when something is wrong. The bottom line, listen to your body. Severe chest pain or shortness of breath should always be treated as a medical emergency. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. What was the first flag to fly over our new nation? You say the Stars and Stripes, right? Actually, no, and you might be surprised by my answer. I'll give you the answer after this important message. In a world that often forgets where freedom comes from, every parent, grandparent, and mentor who steps forward to guide the next generation plays a vital role. And Liberty Village gives families and individuals the experiences and guidance to make a lasting impact. Here, history comes alive as a living guide for how we think and act and make a difference today. Every pathway, workshop, and story invites visitors to step into the shoes of those who built our nation on courage, conviction, and hope. Don't just learn about history, experience its power. See what perseverance looks like. Understand the cost of sacrifice and witness how choices rooted in integrity and responsibility shape a better future. Through hands-on experiences and principle-based education, Liberty Village strengthens families and inspires young people to become thoughtful, engaged citizens. Discover your place in America's story at libertyvillage.org and take an active part in keeping the spirit of freedom alive. When asked what the first flag was to fly over our new America, most believe it to be the Stars and Stripes. But actually, the first flag Americans carried into battle was a blazing yellow banner with a coiled rattlesnake on it, and under it the words, "Don't tread on me." But why a coiled rattlesnake? Here's what I found out. First, like liberty, the rattlesnake was found only in America. But get this, that deadly rattlesnake is usually a harmless creature not looking for a fight. But poke it, prod it, and watch it strike. Our message to Capitol Hill today, quit poking, quit prodding. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
This is Lori Force, running for Hospital Commissioner Position 7. I'm a nurse practitioner with years of hospital experience. Now I volunteer at our local free clinic. I moved here knowing we had a vibrant community hospital. Like many of you, I would have hesitated to move here without it. Now our hospital's in financial crisis. We must balance our checkbook to stay open. To get it right, we must protect patient services, maintain quality and safety, and stretch every dollar. I can help strike that balance. Thank you for your vote.
Paid for by Force for OMC.
Own a septic system? Have questions about how to take care of your system? Attend Septic 101, a free class put on by Clallam County Environmental Health. Classes provide homeowners with septic system maintenance information. Classes are limited in seating, so sign up now. The class will be held at the Vern Burton Center from 5:30 till 7:45 p.m., Thursday, October 23rd. Visit clallamcountywa.gov/septic to register or call 417-2258. Classes are free.
Do you have a social function in your future to plan? Perhaps you're in charge of this year's class reunion, or you have a wedding reception to host coming up. Maybe even a celebration of life. Well, the Eagles Club in Port Angeles can help. We have a beautiful facility available for public use. We have staff available to show you around and see if we would be the right fit to facilitate your next gathering. The Eagles Club, number 483 on Myrtle Street in Port Angeles. Give us a call today at 452-3344.
Hi, it's Alicia with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, where we're more than a workplace, we're a family. We're worker-owned, worker-ran, and worker-profited, and proud to be named Emerging Business of the Year by our community. If you're a caregiver looking for a place where you're valued, or a family seeking care you can trust, you belong with us. Join our team, or let us care for your loved one. Visit ridgeline.coop, that's ridgeline.coop, Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative. Owned by caregivers, trusted by families.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Talking peace in the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he and Vice President J.D. Vance today had a good talk about a new vision for peace in the region.
How to have the civil government, how to have the security there, who could provide that security there, again, with Israel taking care of overall security always. And we discussed that, and I think we have some very, very good ideas how to proceed. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's possible.
The Prime Minister is set to sit down with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who pays a visit on Friday. Since the Israel-Hamas ceasefire took hold, food distribution has vastly improved at multiple sites in Gaza.
Images released by the UN's World Food Programme on Tuesday show the distribution of food moving smoothly in the Gaza Strip. The head of the WFP in Gaza, Willie Nyako, says it aims to scale up aid deliveries inside Gaza amid the ceasefire.
As the ceasefire holds, we plan on expanding to 145 of those sites throughout the Gaza Strip.
WFP is aiming to provide up to 1.6 million people with bread, wheat, flour and food boxes in the first 3 months of the ceasefire. I'm Charles de la Vespa.
Volkswagen making some major changes. We get a closer look from correspondent Bill Alexander.
Volkswagen is preparing to pause production of two key models, the Golf and the Tiguan, but denied any connection with the standoff over embattled Dutch chipmaker Nexperia, putting pressure on supply chains. The company says pauses in production have been long planned to deal with inventory matters coinciding with the autumn holidays.
That is Bill Alexander reporting. About an hour from the close on Wall Street, and the major indexes are all posting losses right now. The Dow down 349 points at this hour. The S&P 500 off about 50. The NASDAQ down 289. More from townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says Democrats have manufactured the current shutdown.
Democrats put together this haphazard grab bag of crazy leftist policy proposals when they knew that it would not be agreed upon, and they knew that it was clear that Republicans were working to do the responsible thing and offer a clean CR to fund the government. That's our most basic job here. In their desperation now, they're trying their very best to somehow blame Republicans for the forthcoming health care crisis that they themselves created.
Speaker Johnson says his daily press conferences during the shutdown are reminders that what he called the clean continuing resolution would reopen the government without any contentious policy priorities. Fed regulators will be missing a key piece of data next week when they meet to discuss interest rates. Official employment data has not been released since the federal government shutdown began October 1st. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A man who was pardoned for his involvement in the January 6th events at the U.S. Capitol may be going back to jail if some new charges prove to be true.
A man whose convictions for storming the U.S. Capitol were erased by President Donald Trump's mass pardons has been arrested on a charge that he threatened to kill New York Democrat and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Christopher P. Moynihan is accused of sending a text message that read, quote, "I cannot allow this terrorist to live." Moynihan also wrote that Jeffries must be eliminated and texted, "I will kill him for the future." To extremists, Jeffries said,
"You better watch how you talk when you talk about me."
Haya Panjwani, Washington.
The Department of Energy says with prices low right now would be a good time to replenish the oil supply. It wants to buy 1 million barrels of crude oil for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The reserve has capacity of about 700 million barrels, currently holds just about 409 million. More on these stories at townhome.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Howard Clark for the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Wednesday, October 22nd. One person was killed, 2 others hospitalized after a 2-car collision last night on Highway 101 near Pierce Road, according to the State Patrol. Troopers say the crash happened about 5:45 p.m. when a 2006 blue Toyota Scion traveling eastbound attempted to turn left onto Pierce Road and failed to yield to an oncoming westbound 2017 Subaru Outback. The vehicles collided and came to rest in the westbound ditch. The driver of the Scion, 64-year-old Arthur Hetzel of Marysville, was pronounced dead after being transported to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Troopers noted that he was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. Now, the Subaru's driver, 70-year-old Bruce Parsons, and his passenger, 70-year-old Cynthia Parsons, both of Port Ludlow, were taken to Olympic Medical Center injured. Both had been wearing seatbelts. State Patrol investigators said drugs or alcohol were involved, and the cause of the crash was listed as failure to yield. Both vehicles were totaled in the collision, and that crash and investigation closed the highway for some 2 hours last night. City of Port Angela is holding 3 public hearings tonight on long-range plans that will guide community growth through the year 2045. The hearings start at 6 this evening at City Hall and online via WebEx through the city's website. The Planning Commission will take public comment on 3 items: the Comprehensive Plan Update, a citywide rezone map, and the 2025 Housing Action Plan. The comp plan covers areas including land use, housing, economic development, parks, transportation, and utilities. The rezone proposal affects more than 1,000 properties and is designed to allow enough housing for about 3,100 additional residents over the next 20 years. And the Housing Action Plan includes strategies to expand affordable housing, address homelessness, reduce blight, and encourage community land trusts. After the hearings, the Planning Commission will forward its recommendations to the City Council, which is expected to consider adoption in December. The Pacific Northwest could face energy shortfalls starting next year, especially during cold snaps and low hydropower years. That according to a new report commissioned by major regional utilities. While rolling blackouts remain unlikely in the next 5 years, rising demand and the loss of coal plants without equivalent replacements posing long-term reliability concerns. The study by consulting firm Energy Plus Environmental Economics, or E3, modeled thousands of scenarios across Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and parts of Utah and Wyoming. It found the region could see a gap of 1,300 megawatts by the year 2026, growing to 8,600 megawatts by 2030. That's roughly equal to Oregon's entire power capacity. More news after this. Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
As always, thank you, Todd. This is your monthly market minute for September 2025. In Sequim, we sold 39 homes, last year 37. 14 of those homes were cash sales. $699,000 is the median home price, and 70 days on the market, which last year was only 24 days on market. We're selling for 95% of asking price in most cases, but 11 of those homes sold for over asking. In Port Angeles, we sold 41 homes, last year only 25. 11 of those homes were to cash buyers. Median home price $501,000. 39 days on the market, last year only 15, and we are selling at 96% of asking price. 12 homes sold at or over asking.
Connect with the real estate pros. Email amazingresults@gmail.com.
You may have seen on the news, gold and silver are at an all-time high. Ever wonder what your old jewelry and coin collections are worth? Come see me at American Rare Coin and Gold in Sequim. We can all use a little extra money, right? Here at American Rare Coin, we love to buy gold and silver and provide you the best prices. American Rare Coin and Gold, 338 West Washington in Sequim, or call 360-968-4943. 360-968-4943.
In other news, Clallam County set to award about $400,000 to 5 programs supporting individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The funds, distributed through the county's Health and Human Services Department, were selected from 8 proposals requesting some $800,000. Among the funded projects, an $86,000 initiative by the Parks, Fairs, and Facilities Department to improve accessibility at the county fair and other public events. Concerned citizens will get about $60,000 to identify infants and toddlers in need of early intervention through its new Enhancing Birth to 3 program. First Step Family Support Center was fully funded at their request of $101,000 to launch a supported parenting program for parents with disabilities. Monica Meyer Consulting was awarded about $72,000 to pilot video profiles that reduce repeated assessments for high acuity individuals with autism and other disabilities. And $80,000 is going to Pierce Jones and Associates for an emergency preparedness training program that's tailored to individuals with disabilities. Final approval is set for the county commissioners meeting on October 28th. Well, if you're among the 6% or so of Clallam County residents who are self-insured, you're likely heard by now that your insurance premium could go up dramatically November 1st, especially if Congress doesn't extend the expiring Affordable Care Act tax credits. We can get an idea of what that increase might be ahead of time. As of yesterday, Washington Health Plan Finder, the resource for people in our state who purchase their own health insurance, has posted updated premium rates available to the public ahead of the November 1st start of the open enrollment period. For some, the window shopping period will result in sticker shock, as the expiration of the enhanced premium tax credit will significantly increase premium costs next year. On the Washington Health Plan Finder website, you can see a county-by-county breakdown of expected increases. Here in Clallam County, the increase is expected to be on average 67%. Police in Renton, Auburn, and Lakewood have tightened surveillance data sharing after learning U.S. Border Patrol accessed their flock safety systems without permission. The systems capture license plates and vehicle locations. A University of Washington report found 18 Washington agencies' data was searched this year, with some queries citing immigration. The department say they were unaware and are now blocking external access or reviewing searches monthly. Governor Bob Ferguson is reviewing the findings for possible violations of a 2019 state law limiting cooperation with immigration enforcement. Washington has ended a rebate program that refunded farmers who paid fuel surcharges under the state's Climate Commitment Act, despite being exempt in paying them. The program, which ran from August of 2024 through this past June, returned nearly $7.9 million across 2,700 applications. Lawmakers tried to extend it, but final budget negotiations left it unfunded. Instead, new legislation directs the Department of Ecology to maintain an online map of fuel retailers who sell exempt agricultural fuel without the added surcharges. The goal is to help farmers and haulers avoid extra costs at the pump rather than apply for rebates after they fuel up. The Climate Commitment Act exempts agricultural, maritime, and aviation fuel use, but farmers have reported surcharges of up to 80 cents a gallon due to confusion and faulty implementation. And a weak La Niña has developed in the Pacific Ocean. It's expected to persist through winter, setting up what could be a colder, wetter season across the Pacific Northwest. Historically, La Niña winters bring more frequent storms to our region, with heavy rain at lower elevations and above average snowfall in the mountains. This year's La Niña is expected to be a weak one, but even small changes in Pacific Ocean temperatures can shift the jet stream, and that may steer more moisture-laden systems directly here into Washington and Oregon. This is Newsradio KONP.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Bathfitter is celebrating 42,000 installations in Western Washington by offering you monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Hooray! Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This offer won't last long.
I went to Jungle Jane's for some beautiful dish towels. I came home with a lamp and a pillow and a rain chain and maybe a few other things. Because inside that little blue building is a home decor wonderland. Jungle Jane's in Squim has stunning lamps, local artisan pieces, kitchen goodies, and decor that makes your home feel like you. Warning, side effects include redecorating your entire house in Zen-like bliss. Find us on the web at junglejanes.online.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Mainly cloudy skies expected this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 57, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain tonight, lows level off around 45, cloudy skies expected. Rain likely tomorrow, highs level off around 57, cloudy skies expected. Mid-50s Friday with heavy rain likely. Cooler Saturday with highs in the upper 40s and showers. Looking at the long range, 49 Sunday, 49 Monday, and 49 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley.
NBA opening night, the Thunder tipped things off with a pregame ring ceremony and unveiled their championship banner for the Oklahoma City faithful, then erased a 12-point deficit and ran down the Rockets 125-124 in double overtime. Last year's MVP and scoring champion Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only had 5 points at halftime, but he hit 2 free throws with 2 seconds left in the second overtime to give OKC the lead for good. He finished with 35 points. The Warriors whipped the Lakers 119-109 despite a 43-point lid lifter from Luka Doncic. LeBron James watched from the bench with sciatica, the first opener he's missed in his 23-year career. Jimmy Butler had 31 for Golden State, which pulled away after halftime. On the ice, the Mammoth edged the league-leading Avalanche 4-3 in overtime. The Devils raked up the Maple Leafs 5-2. Jack Hughes with a hat trick.
I mean, there's games where you're going to have looks, and there's games where obviously you're not going to get much. So tonight was a night where, I was in good spots and the puck was coming to me and kind of had good looks at the net.
New Jersey has won 5 straight. Islanders eluded the Sharks. San Jose has now dropped 6 in a row, still looking for its first win of the season. Panthers shaded the Bruins. Brad Marchand with 2 assists and the number 1 star in his return to Boston. The World Series begins Friday in Toronto. The Blue Jays against the Dodgers. LA will go with Blake Snell on the mound in Game 1 and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in Game 2. That's the same way the Dodgers did it in the NLCS against Milwaukee, and that turned into a 4-game sweep. That's Wednesday Sports.
Me, only me.
There's a new voice in Port Angeles, and she wants to be your voice. Vote for change. Vote Mimi, Port Angeles City Council, position 4.
Me, only me.
This ad was paid for by me, Marilee Mimi Smith Dvorak.
I am a radio commercial. You can't see me, but that doesn't mean we can't have a one-on-one conversation. I can be intimate. I can be bold. I can be used to tell you about a one-day only sale. Or about why my family trusts a particular person or product. You and I can chat daily or sometimes just on the weekend, but we never stop communicating. I may make you laugh, I can make you ponder, and sometimes I can bring just a hint of a tear to your eye. You'll find me lots of places, your car, your home, inside a store, on the beach. Where you won't find me is in a landfill, wrapped around fish, or at the bottom of a birdcage. I'm a radio commercial, and I could be yours.
To open a dialogue between you and your customers, call us today, 360-457-1450. Local radio, local listeners, professional marketing. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks under pressure today on new concerns about U.S.-China trade tension, particularly surrounding software, and Netflix losing ground after earnings were weighed down by a massive tax bill in Brazil. Shares of Chicago-based Northern Trust lower, the bank reporting assets under custody administration that came in below some analysts' estimates. Heineken slashing profit for the full year, now saying volume sales are expected to fall instead of holding steady. Macroeconomic pressures, including inflation and tariff tariffs hurting demand in the U.S. and Europe, along with the fact that people are just drinking less beer in general. And if you don't want to schlep into the office 5 days a week, you might try working for Microsoft, the company exempting many sales roles from its coming return to office mandate, offering a more flexible approach, according to a new internal company memo. The exemptions for commercial sales and solution engineering. The move comes as many other tech companies order staff back to the office. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
At McCrory Carpet One, they sell more than just carpet. If you walk on it, they carry it. Hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tiles, stone, and more. Plus, experience their award-winning installation service on everything they sell. Because McCrory's sells more flooring than anyone else on the peninsula, and Carpet One stores sell more flooring nationally than anyone, they can say always priced right and always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that means there's no better time than now to educate yourself on preventing, finding, and treating breast cancer. Visit Olympic Medical Center's online health library to answer questions like, what should I know about mammograms? Does my family history put me at risk for breast cancer? And what questions should I ask my doctor? Find answers to these questions and more at olympicmedical.org/breastcancer.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
All right, let's get a last check of the noontime traffic out there. We head to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center. That's where Steve's standing by for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, well, overall, we're doing okay. If you're in the Port Angeles and Squim area, it's busy out there, and it's starting to get a little drizzly wet, which make for slick pavement, so just be careful. But traffic right now is moving along pretty smoothly. Shouldn't have too much problem, just some delays at stoplights, a few of the intersections there. And other than that, you should be fine. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim, you should be doing okay as well. Nothing really construction-wise going on out there, but it is kind of busy with traffic. So it's a little slow going in places, but overall, you'll get to where you're going. Just be careful and have some patience. If you're headed out any further than that, Hood Canal Bridge right now, good to go. Nothing scheduled as far as openings. State Ferry's running on time today. Now, if you're headed out to the west end, 101, we do have a accident out at Cooper Ranch Road in 101. There was a log truck and another vehicle. The roadway is blocked for quite a while here a little bit ago, but it is open to alternating traffic right now. So there is a little bit of a delay headed out that way. So if you're going to be headed in that direction, just watch your speeds and be careful out there. Little drizzly rain, wet roads, a little fog, all add up to could cause you some problems if you don't take care and be safe. So everybody enjoy your afternoon. Stay safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Your weather forecast calls for clouds and some rain through the day today. Look for highs near 60. Rain likely tonight. Lows in the mid to upper 40s, and then cloudy and rainy right through the weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs mid to upper 50s through the weekend. I have currently out there in the east end of the peninsula in Port Townsend, they have a few clouds where it's 54. Out west in Forks, it's moderately raining now, 52. If we look to Squim, overcast now and 54 there, and a little bit of light rain falling in Port Angeles where it's also 54 degrees. Now, sleep and exercise, both vital. So when you've not had a full night's sleep, is it better to sleep in a bed or get up and exercise? Well, Mayo Clinic researchers say you shouldn't choose between the two. Sleep and exercise are like food and water. Not only are both necessary, but it's difficult to get healthy doses of one without the other. But if you have to choose one or the other, go with the sleep. It's foundational. Lots of people think they can operate on less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but when tested, they just do not perform at their best. Now, ChatGPT maker OpenAI has announced a new web browser, and ABC's Mike Dubusky, he's got some details on it for us.
OpenAI's new web browser called Atlas integrates ChatGPT into the sidebar, so you can ask the AI questions about what you're reading online. It can also help write or adjust the tone of emails or other text. Perplexity, Opera, and Google have all launched AI web browsing features in recent months, But Reese Rogers of Wired says it's always best to double-check whatever an AI chatbot says.
Generative AI is still not reliable in high-risk use cases.
Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Only available on Mac computers now, but OpenAI says a Windows version and mobile app are coming soon. Speaking of consumer technology, let's check in with Kim Commando next in a Consumer Tech Minute.
Apple AirTags were invented to help people like me easily find their car keys, luggage, or anything else that's easily misplaced. Unfortunately, they also work very well for stalkers, too. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the free CFO's Guide to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning right now at netsuite.com/Kim. This story comes to us from Nebraska, where a woman's iPhone was constantly giving her messages that it had picked up a new wireless device. The device showed up every time she drove her car. The woman assumed it was her lost AirPods, but while looking, she discovered not one, but 4 Apple AirTags apparently placed in her car by her ex. She was being stalked. And in Nebraska, prosecuting this kind of stalking has all been but impossible. State laws are catching up, though. When your smartphone discovers something and can't identify it, think AirTags. Don't stop until you find them, and then immediately remove its battery and take it to the nearest police station. Get my 5-star rated newsletter for free right now at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you're going to get 10 answers. Bull market, bear market, rates will rise or fall, inflation's up or down. If only there were a crystal ball. Over 43,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 AI cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. With a single unified suite, there's one source giving you the visibility and control to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days and not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. Whether your company earns millions or hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to today's challenges and seize opportunities. Download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, do you struggle with mental health? Exercise will help. In a moment, I'll explain how exercise can help beat depression. It's next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
This week at Macy's, it's the best time to save on fall styles at our biggest fall sale. Find the classic brown boots and preppy Mary Janes that everyone's wearing. Luxurious cashmere and wool sweaters. Even better, it's our lowest prices of the season on diamond jewelry, now 50 to 75% off. Over half off. Don't miss your chance to save big on the looks you need now at Macy's biggest fall sale. Today, savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
So according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, nearly half of the population regularly struggles with mental health issues. The good news is exercise will help. How much exercise do we need? A joint study was done by Harvard and Massachusetts General Hospitals, and the researchers found that getting at least 35 minutes of physical activity a day, whether it was a run, a nature hike, or something mellow like yoga or stretching, it was enough to reduce the risk of depression significantly. The reason is because exercise increases the production of feel-good endorphins. Exercise also reduces the negative effects of stress by stressing out your body. Basically, exercise imitates the effects of stress by increasing adrenaline and getting your heart pounding. That helps your body practice working through those effects. Do your mental and physical health a favor. Get at least 35 minutes of exercise every day. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
I'm Jerry Steffens, and I'm running to serve as your next OMC Hospital Commissioner, Position 1. I have served my community as a volunteer physician, medical director, and board member of the Olympic Peninsula Community Clinic, our local free clinic. I served on the Clallam County Board of Health and as a treasurer for St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. You deserve an engaged, responsive, and effective leader who will adequately respond to the challenges our hospital is facing and restore trust in the hospital. I would be honored to represent you as our next OMC Hospital Commissioner, paid for by elect Jerry Steffens.
Since 1945, News Radio KONP has been your source for news and community. We are News Radio KONP.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle
Square.
Franzen. The demolition of the White House grounds continues to make way for President Trump's proposed $250 million ballroom. The renovation now more extensive than what President Trump mentioned in July. A White House official confirmed to ABC News that the entirety of the East Wing will be modernized.
A White House official tells ABC that all the historical components of the East Wing, such as elements from Rosalind Carter's original office of the First Lady, have been preserved and stored under the supervision of the White House Executive Residence and the National Park Service, with support from the White House Historical Association. Plans are in place for future use of these items. The Historical Association also tells ABC it supported the preservation of East Wing history through a comprehensive digital scanning project and photography to create an historic record capturing the East Wing and the gardens. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The government shutdown now in day 22. Senate Democrats are holding a marathon session opposing the Trump administration policies and cuts. It comes 6 months after Senator Cory Booker broke the modern record for the Senate's longest speech. In Israel, Vice President J.D. Vance met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the second day of his visit, asking for patience on the return of deceased hostages in Gaza. Vance says the U.S. remains confident the ceasefire will hold. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge says sticking points remain on phase 2 of the U.S. peace plan.
There are disagreements, and we heard some clues about that today. For example, this international peacekeeping force, which is supposed to be deployed into Gaza to look after security for at least a significant period of time. Prime Minister Netanyahu expressed opposition to the idea that the Turkish security forces could be part of that. Turkey has a close relationship with Hamas. Its relationship with Israel is complicated, even though the Turkish government of Erdogan has a close relationship with President Trump.
On Wall Street, stocks ending lower today. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The director of the Louvre Museum in Paris testifying before French lawmakers today following Sunday's brazen heist of French royalty jewels. Laurence Descartes tells lawmakers the outdated security system is partially to blame, including a lone camera that was facing the wrong way when the suspects swooped in. Here's ABC's Patrick Reevell.
She did say that she had offered her resignation after the heist, but France's culture minister has rejected that. Descartes has said she also had been appalled by the level of security at the Louvre when she first arrived there back in 2021 and became director. And she said she'd made it her priority to fix it. And she said she had issued many warnings about it. She even described herself as a whistleblower.
Several automakers offer technology that allows drivers to take their hands off the steering wheel, but now General Motors is roaring towards eyes-free driving.
At an event in New York City, GM announced an evolution of the company's semi-autonomous cruise control, known as Super Cruise, that will allow drivers to take their eyes off the road. GM Senior Vice President Baris Sentinok says he sees the car becoming more like a living room or an office.
Where I choose to watch my Warriors games, where maybe I am catching up on news that I want to catch up on.
But so far, only 2 states, California and Nevada, allow eyes-off-the-road autonomous driving.
ABC's Mike Dubusky. I'm Michelle Franzen.
Home affordability.
Yes, it does exist here on the peninsula with Mountain View Homes. Looking for a quality craftsmanship home at 40% less than stick-built? Call Mountain View Homes. We specialize in affordable homes with full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey, quality, beautiful, and an efficient manufactured home on the site of your choice. Mountain View Homes has 3 locations to serve you, including Carlsberg. Visit mtviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Hi, this is Mike from American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Do you have a house project needs doing but lacking the funds? Now is a great time to sell gold, silver, or rare coins. Prices are at an all-time high. We love to buy coin collections, gold and silver jewelry and bullion. We even help with entire estates. You could be sitting on a literal gold mine. Come see me, Mike, at American Rare Coin and Gold in Squim. Call 360-968-4943.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. One person's dead, 2 others hospitalized after a 2-car crash Tuesday evening on Highway 101 near Pierce Road. State Patrol troopers say a 64-year-old Marysville man driving a Toyota Scion turned left into the path of an oncoming Subaru Outback. Both cars ended up in a ditch. The crash closed the highway for more than 2 hours. The Scion's driver was pronounced dead after being flown to Harborview. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt. The Subaru's driver and passenger, both from Port Ludlow, were treated at Olympic Medical Center. Investigators believe drugs or alcohol were factors in that crash.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Rain likely this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. High temperatures reach up to 57. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for rain tonight. Lows dip down to about 45. Overcast skies. Cloudy skies tomorrow. Rain likely 57. Mid-50s Friday with heavy rain likely. Turning cooler Saturday with highs in the upper 40s and showers possible. Looking further out, 49 Sunday, 49 Monday, and 49 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 48.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
Welcome to the program. Lots to cover today. In the first segment, we're going to talk a little music, specifically band music, and kind of a really special collaboration of band music. It's going to be happening here in Port Angeles this Saturday up at Port Angeles High School in the auditorium there, the Performing Arts Center. The Squim City Band is going to be performing, and so will be the Port Angeles High School Symphonic Band, and they'll be performing a bit together, too, I understand. Maybe, is that right, or is it just a double bill? Either way, we're going to talk about what's going on with it, because it's kind of the nature of supporting each other's groups just a bit with a concert like this. So we welcome to our studio today Vicki Blakesley, who's with the Squim City Band. Blake's good to see you again. Thanks for coming in, as always. And we've brought along from the high school, the director up there, Jared Hansen, and it's been a while since we've had you on. So, Jared, good to see you again as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
So I think we'll start with you, Jared, and talk a bit about you get to do kind of a special concert in this, and also kind of rub elbows, I guess, with the grown-ups with your group, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a great collaboration. Squim City Band has been just really impactful and really helpful for our program overall. The individuals in that group and Tyler, the director, and it's going to be a special concert on Saturday.
How important is it for band kids to realize, there's a future beyond being in the high school band? They can continue to do these things.
Yeah, I think sometimes people get in their head that they can only do music if they're going to be a music teacher or be a professional musician, but I mean, the reality is a lot of people in the Squim City Band that they will see on Saturday are hobby musicians, people that are just doing this because they want to have fun and they like making music. So,
all right. So that's a message you try to get to your students, I'm sure, so they know, what? It's going to go beyond the 4 years you have around the high school.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. But now they get to actually see it in person, and so that'll be really special.
All right, so talk about your symphonic band so people kind of understand. Many people don't know, what the different bands are and such. So this group that you're putting on the stage Saturday.
Yeah, symphonic band is woodwinds, brass, percussion. in the band world, we say concert band, we say symphonic band, we say wind ensemble. They all mean different things, and they all mean like the same thing too. But symphonic band is just all of our students that are in the band program, grades 9 through 12. And so you've got quite a wide variety.
A large group of high school musicians on the stage for this one, for you guys.
Yeah, with the percussionists, we're going to have over 75 musicians on stage. So
nice.
It's going to be a big group.
All right. Last time we actually had a long conversation on this was kind of coming in and out of COVID. Have things gotten, obviously it's a lot different than it was than trying to teach band, but are the numbers getting back? Are people starting to get re-engaged again in music?
Yeah, when I took over in fall of 2020, we had about 35, and I was lucky if I saw some of their faces on the Zoom, but we're now at 95 musicians in the high school program, and over 100 in 7th, 8th grade at Stevens, so... and then 6th grade, we're getting a consistent, 85. Mr. Reynolds is doing a great job with that. And so things are really growing quickly.
That warms the cockles of my heart because I'm an old band guy myself, you know that. So I love to hear the band is going strong. Okay, tell us a bit about what you're going to be performing.
Yeah, we're going to be performing 3 pieces. The theme of the concert is Timeless Treasures. And so... 2 of these are kind of older band standards. 3 airs from Gloucester, which is written by Hugh Stewart, who's an American composer, but it's in an English folk song style, which is a great style for band musicians to know because there's a lot of standard band literature that goes in that style. So we've had a lot of fun, saying our parts in our British accents with our pinkies out, sipping our tea, to really understand what it's supposed to be like. And, of course, learning the music as well. But, just 3 movements. The Jolly Earl of Cholmondeley's, fun, light, lighthearted. And then Air for Eventide really features the French horns and is just a slow ballad, lyrical, flowing movement. And then the Fifes of Wembley is a nice, quick little 6/8, the peasants running through the countryside having fun, doing things that peasants would do. And then Salvation is Created is originally a vocal piece written by a Russian composer before communism started. And Pavel Chesnikov never got to hear it performed. His children did, thankfully, but, as soon as the rise of communism happened, he wasn't able to write anything but secular works. Right. And so... But this is just a beautiful piece of music and a great arrangement for the band. And then Primal Dances is a newer one. Brian Balmages is just a big name composer in the band world. He writes a lot of fun stuff. And this one is just, as the name suggests, it's very raw and it's very aggressive. And, it's a very direct contrast from the other 2 pieces. But it's a lot of fun. Lots of good percussion, too.
Okay, so boisterous might be a good way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of this. Now you're relatively into the new year as well. Is this the first big concert then for this whole group, or not?
Yeah, this is the first concert for this group this year.
Right. So for the director, that also is kind of an interesting time, right? It's a first chance for you to say, okay, let's see how we're going to do this, right?
Yeah, they always pull it together though at the last minute, and sometimes a little later than I like. But no, they're great. They're great students, and it's going to be a good concert.
All right, I'm going to swing over for a minute and talk with Blake here. Vicki, Blake, so then there'll be a bit of an intermission, I guess, a little switching of things, and then the Squim City Band's going to take the stage.
Correct. We have to do a slight stage change, and so there's going to be an intermission, which, by the way, gives everyone the opportunity to go to the lobby and buy something. Buy a $20 cookie, let's say, from the Port Angeles High School Band Boosters. Yeah. They're raising money, as they always do, to help out the high school band. And this year, it'll be for travel money to go to California.
Right. And maybe before we talk about the Swim City Band, we should have Jarrett talk a bit about that because you got a big trip planned this year.
Yeah, we really have 3 big events this year, if you don't mind me just kind of mentioning all of those. Yeah, the first thing we have coming up is January 14th. We have the Dallas Brass coming back to town. They haven't been in town for about 10, 12 years now. And they are fun. It's engaging. It's entertaining. It's a brass quintet with a drummer. They're all professional musicians. And that's just going to be a fantastic concert that the middle school students will get to play a piece with them, and the high school
That's
students
my next
as
question.
well.
So not only a concert for anybody to come see, but they're going to interact with your students a bit. Then,
Yeah,
too,
they're going to do
wow.
some clinic time during the day and interact with the students and, answer questions, and they'll get to rehearse with them and then perform with them.
That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be really special.
Okay,
So
when is that?
That is January 14th.
Okay. All right.
And then, like Blake's mentioned, we've got a trip to Los Angeles coming up. That's going to be near the end of March 26th. We take off for that. And they are going to get to do so much. It's going to be, there's lots of fun stuff they'll get to do, go to Disneyland, medieval times. We're going to go see the LA Phil. They'll get to go on, a tour, Universal Studios, all sorts of fun things too. But on the musical side of things, I'm really excited because they get to do what's called a Disney soundtrack session, where they're kind of led into a room and they get to put the headphones on and they get to be a studio musician for a couple hours, work with a conductor in the film industry, and they put different scenes of different Disney movies, which Disney owns everything now. So I don't know
You
what
don't know what it's going to be, right?
Yeah. Could be Avengers, could be Lion King, could be, I don't know, NFL on Fox. Who knows? Yeah. But they put a scene from a movie behind that person, and they record the group, and then they put the recording of your group over that scene.
Nice. So they're doing the soundtrack.
Yeah, they're doing the soundtrack for whatever clip that is.
Nice.
And we'll see how many clips they can get through. And they'll also compete. The symphonic band will compete as part of the festival and the overall trip itself. So
what a great opportunity, though.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to be jam-packed. They're going to do a great job. So it's going to be a fun trip for us.
All right.
And then the final thing is April 10th, we're going to have trumpeter Wayne Bergeron in town. And probably a lot of people listening have no idea who that is. But he's been on any soundtrack that you've heard trumpet or jazz trumpet on. I'm sure he's probably recording stuff right now in an LA studio because he's just in demand. So if you check him out, Wayne Bergeron, his resume is endless. But he's going to be here April 10th at Field Hall. And we'll be performing, the high school jazz band will be performing with him.
I was going to say, they better be performing with him. What a chance.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're going to perform some with him, and then there'll be an adult group that he performs with as well. So,
wow, you got some really cool things lined up, and our own community gets to get in on some of this stuff too. Obviously, for what you're bringing in.
Yeah, I hope everybody will come out to the Dallas Brass and Wayne Bergeron, because it's going to be an incredible lifetime experience.
Yeah. So. If you didn't catch the Dallas Brass last time, you missed it. And those who did will definitely be back.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so we got to raise some money though for you. So here's a great time. Come take in this great concert. Buy a lot of baked goods at this bake sale.
Yeah. Make sure they have nothing to take home, nothing to give away. Make them sell out.
All right. So you can scarf your face down with all of that while they're switching things up on the stage, and then the Swim City Band on Saturday is going to take the stage. And Blake's take us through a little bit of what you guys are going to perform.
Well, we also have a fairly varied program with some very high energetic pieces, and then one that's a little more somber. Our somber piece actually is a dedication to the Columbine High School shootings, called American Elegy by Frank Tekeli. And it's a beautiful, harmonious piece that commemorates that particular event. But a lot of the rest of our concert is high energy. I mean, we do some of the old classic pieces like Shepherd's Hay from Percy Granger. But we do some more modern pieces. Julie Giroux's Khan. Think of the Mongol Empire and the galloping hordes across the plains.
That's what you're going to hear.
That's what you're going to hear.
Okay, yeah.
And then maybe in keeping with the season, since it is the end of October coming up, our piece by John Barnes Chance, Incantation and Dance, will give a little bit of that flavor. And it's a piece that definitely has an incantation section to it, and then has a lighter dance feature to it. But that, and amongst a couple of other high energy pieces, that'll conclude the concert.
All right.
It'll be a full afternoon. The concert is free. We always remember to tell people they're free. Come and support the high school band and come and support the Swim City band. We'd love to have a big audience.
And this is just another in kind of the collaboration theme, if you will, that the band has been doing. You got together with the Port Townsend Summer Band earlier. We talked about that. And here you are doing a little bit of a collaboration with the high school band here.
Correct. I mean, the Swim City band formally has youth educational outreach as part of its mission. And this concert is an example of that. But there's other things band members do. We don't, for example, pay band members to do this. They instead volunteer. And this year we have several individual band members who are volunteering at the Port Angeles School District, serving as sectional coaches. For example, I'm a bass clarinetist, so I take 3 of the bass clarinetists aside and one day a week, and we practice together. We have some people who are doing the same thing in Sequim high schools and in Chimicum.
Excellent.
Other ways we can help support youth education is we have several. I think close to 11 students have played with the Swim City Band this past year. How many, Jarrett, do you think are playing in the current concert? 5 or 6 just from Port Angeles?
Yeah, from Port Angeles we have 4 or 5 students that are going to play. They're going to play our 3 pieces.
And then they're going to switch and go play with the city band.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I love it. I love it.
And we concentrate also on sharing our music library because we have a rather extensive music library and can continue to buy a few new pieces every year, which the high schools, because of budgetary concerns, are very limited in buying music now. So we keep an eye out to purchasing music that then we can lend to the high school band. So this is part of the Swim City Band's mission of supporting youth.
Love it. It's great. And so the way to support all of that is to come to the concert. Absolutely. I think that's number one on Saturday. Come check out the high school kids, and they're part of the concert, and then the Swim City Band.
Let's make sure everybody knows it starts at 2 o'clock.
Right.
Swim City Band has traditionally been 3 o'clock.
Right,
but this year we're changing. All of our indoor concerts start at 2 o'clock. We've heard requests that people would like to come to a concert and be able to get home in the middle of the winter time before it gets absolutely dark out.
I think that's a great accommodation, and I think the musicians may also like that in some ways too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, being of the vintage that I am, I could probably say that's fine, right? Yeah. All right, so 2 o'clock, can't beat the price, it's free. And what a wonderful chance to hear the great band program that Jarrett has going up there at Port Angeles High School. You guys are just phenomenal. And I always tell folks, get up there and support them at least with your ears, but bring a few dollars and buy some sweet things too.
Right. Yep. And let's remind the audience, if you weren't a band kid yourself, like Mr. Orloff is here.
Yeah.
He was a trumpeter back in the day.
Yeah, he was in the day, yeah.
If you didn't play an instrument, you may have had kids who played instruments. This will bring you back to the days when you were a band mom or a dad, a band dad, and you can support the students. Come out and, live the vision with us.
My mother still loves to think back to those days. It was a lot of work, but she loved every minute of it.
Yep.
So. All right. Jarrett, great to see you again. And good luck to the concert.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
thanks for having me on.
It's going to be wonderful, and we may be talking more. It sounds like you've got a few things coming up I would love to chat about when the Dallas Brass get a little closer. Perhaps we'll get you back to talk about that.
Yeah, would love to be back on.
All right. That's Jarrett Hansen. He is the music director for the Port Angeles High School, and his symphonic band will be performing on Saturdays, kicking off the concert at 2 o'clock. And Vicki Blakesley. Blake's good to see you again. Thanks for coming in.
I'll come back and see you before our holiday concert.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure I'm going to see you in just a few more weeks, right?
Yeah, probably about 7, 8.
Got it. And Swim City Band will be capping the concert at the second half there up at Port Angeles High School in the Performing Arts Center, also known as the Auditorium. And again, you can't beat the price. It'll be a great afternoon. The weather's supposed to be kind of so come on inside and enjoy some warm, wonderful music from both those bands. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. We're going to talk about Citizen Air and what that is all about here in Port Angeles next.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect What matters most?
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hello, I'm Anne-Marie Henninger, your current OMC board president running for re-election. I'm a dedicated nurse, not a politician. I've spent 35 years as a healthcare provider and the last 6 years as an OMC commissioner. Public service, leadership, and finding solutions to challenges are my passions. I ask for your vote, as I'm not done helping guide our hospital through these uncertain times.
Paid for by Anne-Marie Henninger, Hospital Commissioner.
Sometimes the more things change, the more things stay the same. Cars and trucks certainly have changed, but it's really good to know that A1 Auto Parts in Sequim has the same great service and expert advice as always. Whether it's advanced technology of the newest model or a classic with hard-to-find parts, the A1 team is your go-to for expert advice and tracking the right equipment. A1 Auto Parts and Marine across from Sunshine Cafe in downtown Sequim.
Me, only me.
There's a new voice in Port Angeles, and she wants to be your voice. Vote for change. Vote Mimi, Port Angeles City Council, position 4.
Me, only me.
This ad was paid for by me, Marilee Mimi Smith Dvorak.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Bove. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port, the wide-ranging companies operating in our facilities, and share exciting upcoming projects designed to develop and upgrade infrastructure to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know over 50 companies are on port property, totaling over 1,000 jobs? The Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor. The port owns and operates 2 airports, William R. Fairchild International and the CQ Airport, providing convenient and essential access to some of the more remote areas of the peninsula. We'll continue to bring you insights from the Port of PA on future segments. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
This has been Your Port of PA Today. Explore portofpa.com.
And welcome back to the program. Going to spend the next couple of segments talking about something that many people have heard about. Maybe they don't know entirely what's happening with this, but Citizen Air is a company that is now located here in Port Angeles out at the airport. And it has kind of a merging in with a longtime operator out there as well, and that's Wright Brothers. And we're going to show you how this all is working together and what's happening there with a couple of folks involved. We have one of the pilots, actually, with Citizen Air joining us, Zoltan Baladi. Hi, Zoltan. Good to see you. And we'll get with you in just a minute as well. And Jeff Wells, who's the former owner at Wright Brothers, but we jokingly said he's still showing up for work. I think the former owners is just one part of it. The rest of what you do is kind of stayed the same in a lot of ways. So, Jeff, it's good to see you again.
It's great to be here talking with you, Todd. And I'm still a flying fool and don't know. Yeah. I don't know when to retire.
Very good. All right. So, Zoltan, I'm going to go over and talk with you first about just what Citizen Air is. Tell us about the company and kind of what is planned here in Port Angeles, what's already happening, and kind of what the vision might be.
So, Citizen Air is basically a new company that is based off of Jeff's old company, which is Wright Bros. And our main focus right now is charter operations. Mm-hmm. So kind of connecting the Puget Sound and connecting Port Angeles with Seattle and all the destinations around the Puget Sound to reduce the travel time from point A to point B. And so right now it's on-demand charter. So you can plan a point. You want to go to Seattle, so you basically hire a plane and a pilot to take you from Port Angeles to Seattle, and you're buying the whole airplane for that time period. And so you can take whoever you want for the same price.
Now, there's some flexibility in size. What's available for folks if they do this?
3 passengers or 5 passengers. Okay. We have slightly, but there's single engine piston propeller airplanes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And Jeff, you've been doing the charter service through Wright Brothers for years and years and years, obviously. Yeah. So tell us kind of a bit about timing and how that works. How long does it take to get from here to Seattle, for example?
Well, from here to Seattle, in both airplanes, they're a little bit different in size, but the distance is relatively short, and so there's only about probably 5 minutes difference between a bigger airplane that's faster than the smaller airplane. And I mean, even if I took a jet, it almost takes the same amount of time. The plane's faster, but it takes a lot more to get it up and going and everything else. So it's all about the same. But like Zoltan was saying, it's we're doing the same thing that we always did, and that we're covering all the Northwest and Canada, and doing the same thing.
And in theory, I mean, if I wanted to go someplace else, I could charter. I could call you all up and do the same thing. Prices obviously will be different depending on where we go, but you could take me pretty much anywhere around Western Washington.
Well, Eastern Washington. Yeah. I mean, people say, well, how far do you go? And I've done charters, believe it or not, as far as Nebraska.
Okay, but we should point out that's going to take a couple of hops to get.
Yeah. But typically we can one hop to Northern California, to Boise or Reno or Western Montana, and we go up to Canada Island, up to Port Hardy, and I've gone up to Anchorage and things like that. And we go to a lot of remote, out of the way places that people can't get scheduled service, or you can't even, it's not practical to go there and rent a car or do anything like that. So,
okay. So let's hold our thought there. I'm going to take a break. I want to come back and talk about this is kind of a business model in a sense to fill a need where we've been desperately needing some sort of service getting out of Port Angeles into SeaTac, and how this works because it's a little different. I guess it's safe to say different set of rules when you do it as a charter as opposed to trying to fly it as a general aviation commercial service, right?
If you're a scheduled service.
Scheduled service, that's what I'm trying to say. All right, so we'll talk kind of a bit about that and how this might help out fill a need here with the folks from Citizen Air just up and running here in Port Angeles. We'll talk a bit more with Jeff Wells, also Zoltan Baladi, about just that right after this.
This is Lori Force, running for Hospital Commissioner, Position 7. I'm a nurse practitioner with years of hospital experience. Now I volunteer at our local free clinic. I moved here knowing we had a vibrant community hospital. Like many of you, I would have hesitated to move here without it. Now our hospital's in financial crisis. We must balance our checkbook to stay open. To get it right, we must protect patient services, maintain quality and safety, and stretch every dollar. I can help strike that balance. Thank you for your vote.
Paid for by Force for OMC.
Hi everyone, it's Leslie Robertson from the Port Angeles Chamber, and I want to tell you about a great opportunity to support our local area. Would you like to meet people from all over the world? Do you like the chance to brag about this beautiful place we live? The Port Angeles Visitor Center is looking for volunteers to help people seeking advice, information, and recommendations when they come to visit our delightful town. Visitor Center shifts are short, the schedule is easy, and very flexible. Whether you want a regular day or you'd like to fill in as needed, we will make it work for you. Knowledge about the area is a plus, but don't worry, we'll train you. It's a great chance to meet new people, make new friends, and get to know the great group of volunteers we already have working at the Visitor Center. You'll be glad you did. If you're interested, email info@portangeles.org or call the Visitor Center at 360-452-2363. Or you can find more information on our website, portangeles.org.
All right, we're talking about kind of a new old way of doing aviation out of Fairchild here in Port Angeles with Citizen Air. We have a couple of folks who are very much involved with it. One person you probably know from a lot of years here, and that's Jeff Wells. He's formerly with Wright Brothers, which has merged into what is now Citizen Air, and they're providing a whole bunch of things, but we're mostly talking about their on-demand charter service that is being offered here. And Jeff, I'll go back to you because during the break you were just describing this, how you describe what this is to folks, kind of like a taxi, more or less, right?
Well, there's a lot of official documentation that calls us an air taxi because we're an airline. but we're on demand versus scheduled. But I like to use some examples like if you want to Uber XL, you take the Cessna 206, and if you want just the economy one, then you take the Cessna 172. But when you order that Uber, and the car's for you, and the price doesn't change if there's just one of you or if you got three friends, or like when I went to a game the other day, there was four of us, so we had to get an Uber big enough that could sit four. Or sometimes we've gone with six, and then we have to get the XL.
Right. But you bring up a good point. You can then split that cost because the cost of getting the plane is fixed in a sense. It's going to be whether it's one person or six if you want that plane. So why not get five people together and split it? And then next thing you know, that cost gets down to where it's almost pretty much what it would cost you if you're doing a scheduled flight.
Yes, it is. Actually, it's almost exactly the same.
Maybe, yeah. Right. So, Zoltan, tell me a bit about from your perspective, how this works. Take me through this. I'm somebody that needs to get to Seattle.
Okay, so so you'll book it through the phone with us, and then we'll schedule you. We'll schedule an airplane for you, and we'll schedule the pilot. And so I'll be the pilot, and you basically come exactly at the time that you propose to go to Seattle, and you get in the plane, start the plane up. We'll, go taxi to the runway, take off, and we're headed to Seattle. Take 35 minutes depending on the winds, and arrive at Seattle and dropped off at the private terminal there. We can arrange a car for you to either go to SeaTac, or if you're going to Seattle, then we can arrange a car to go to your hotel. Or you can choose to do your own transportation as well.
All right. So you fly into Boeing. We should point that
into
out.
Boeing
right?
Field.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But 35 minutes-ish for the most part, right? So what's the cost? So I call up and say, okay, I need to get to Seattle. Tell me what that would find out how I need to break this out. How much do I have to charge my friends to get on board with me? Maybe that's my question, right?
Yeah. So right now for the 172, it's $595 to go from Seattle to Boeing Field, and so that's 3 seats. So you could split that into 3 if you bring 3 or 2 friends. And we're going to be introducing a application called SoundPass, which will, even if they're not your friends, you could basically say, I'm open to other people joining me to reduce the cost of this charter.
So a little of almost a timeshare, if you will, or at least this is going to be available at this time, and if you want to hop on, here it is.
Yeah, exactly, except that initial person is basically making the schedule for that flight, and whoever wants to go at that time can also join.
Jeff?
There is a complication that is the SoundPass. The members of if you're a SoundPass member, then you're all eligible to do that. Because if you were you can't rent your charter airplane and then go and sell seats yourself.
Right.
They all have to be members, and if you're in the membership pool, and it'll be a small thing to be a member, and you'll get notifications, and
there's probably some privilege to having that too, because you will find out there are when things are available.
Well, and you'll have the app that you'll get notifications that these are flights that people are going, and they want to share the flight. Some people, they don't want to share the flight, but some people say, well, I don't care if people come on, I'll cut my costs down to other SoundPass members, and and we're hoping that the more people we have in the program, then there's more flights, more options, and it works out.
I mean, if this, pardon the pun, takes off, will you maybe need more planes? I mean, is there a possibility that you'll need more infrastructure?
We have more planes coming in. We are hopefully close on a nicer, more updated airplane with lots of safety features and stuff. Hopefully we're going to close on that next week, and they got lots of plans more. And that's the big difference between Wright Brothers and Citizen Air. Kelly Kidwell, who bought Wright Brothers from me, and he has a lot more resources, and he has some fantastic ideas about all these new changes and things to do to. And I'm just happy to go along and help him make that work out with all the regulatory and experience of how to do it.
But you know, this so far it seems like maybe I don't want to say the easiest, but the most efficient way to get some sort of service for folks here out of Port Angeles into Seattle again.
Yes.
We've been frustrated for years, as you know, right?
Everybody has asked me, and part of the problem is that it just is expensive to do, and there's an unbelievable amount of red tape and regulatory issues with doing it. And this is one way to do it, and we're working on and looking at the future and trying to come up with some other ways. And I've told most people privately that a lot of times it's going to have to be subsidized in some manner, because you just cannot offer a price that most people can afford without some subsidy. And hopefully it'll be a government and private and local contributions
sort of a pool
to make it work out. And then people need to be dedicated to supporting it, and then it'll work.
I was just kind of in my head going through things, and I thought, well, if I go to Seattle and I'm going to be gone for a week, and then I have to pay to park my car, or maybe I have to spend a night, which I don't have to. You start to you tally that up, and it gets to be. This is probably couldn't be more economical. I mean, no matter what,
well,
a couple $100, right? And it's not going to,
Everybody's time has a certain value, but I've talked to a lot of business people that their time is valuable, and I do the math for them, and they go, "Oh, I never thought of it that way," because they can go over to Seattle, sign some documents, meet their lawyer, their accountant for a half hour or an hour, and we stand by and then come back and get them back. And they're back, and they're only gone half a day, and so they can service their customers or run their business for the other half a day, and they can generate enough income to pay for that flight and more. Versus if they drive over there, it's all day. They got nothing done but that one little meeting.
Yeah,
it was cheap to get there, but it wasn't cheap to be away from your business or your profession or whatever that is.
Right. It's a very, very interesting business. But I have to ask you, Jeff, what about the FBO out there? Since you were running some of that, is that still operating under you?
All the employees that were virtually all the employees that were with Wright Brothers are still there. Everybody's there now. They brought more people on, and we got more things going on, but. We still do the same things. We're still doing flight instruction and aircraft rental and aircraft maintenance, and plus the charter, and we fuel Life Flight and all the other aircraft that come in, and any of the other services that need to be done out at the airport. We still do all that stuff, so none of that has changed.
You found a pretty good way to get out of this business, I think. And someday Jeff Wells was going to retire.
Well, sometime, but They got some new airplanes, and I'm addicted to flying, and so
I know you are.
I'm still doing it, and they have some other things they're doing. There's some fractional ownerships with jets and stuff, and so I'm out flying the jet around now, and so
so that's okay, right? You didn't get to do that much before, right?
Well, no, I used to, in the Air Force and stuff, but I hadn't done it for a while, and it's nice to get back and go fast.
Good job. All right, Zoltan, just a little bit about you. How did you get involved in piloting for this and get where you're sitting here now, and you're the guy I'm going to call to fly me if I do charter?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always wanted to be a pilot since I was probably about 2 years old. I just love looking at the ground from above.
Yeah,
and I think it's just a cool perspective that not many people get to see, and I think that's why I chose it as my profession. And then Jeff hired me a little over a year ago, and it's just really cool the things we get to do and see the places we get to go. And it's definitely a different type of flying than most flying, and it's pretty exciting. So
I would encourage people, I guess, maybe hop onto your website. Is there a good place to maybe get so they can kind of get in the loop of all of this?
The website has a lot of valuable information, but if it doesn't answer all your questions, we're just a phone call away. And a lot of the charters are unique, and they have unique times and different locations. I mean, we can go to any place that has an airport and stuff. And a lot of times I've had people call and say, I want to do this and that. And I find out, after talking with her a little bit and say, well, what if we did this? You don't need to go there and rent a car and do this. What if we took you straight to there? You can do that? Yes, you don't have to go to Moses Lake and do that there. We can take you to, Electric City. There's an airport right there. We can just drop you off right there, or where that golf course is, or wherever. You don't have to do that. We can just go right there.
Yeah. So there's a lot more flexibility in this as well. Congrats and welcome as citizen heir to the area, and I invite people to keep an eye on things, because this app that's coming out and this getting into the group buy and all of that, I think is really pretty exciting stuff.
I think there's a lot of potential, and Kelly and the staff that he's bringing on, they really have some fabulous ideas, and he has the resources and the drive and energy to push that through, because it's still always a challenge in today's world.
Oh yeah,
to make anything happen.
Right. All right. Well, you're breathing a lot of life into Fairchild Airport. I know that for a fact. So, Zoltan, great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
Zoltan Bellotti there. He's a pilot, and he may fly you if you call out there and get a charter to wherever it might be. And Jeff Wells, great to see you again. Thanks for coming in, and I'm glad you're getting up in the air still a little bit, maybe having a little more fun.
Always having fun.
Yeah.
Flying is always fun.
All right. We're going to take a break. We'll wrap things up on our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Now, a word from our friends at the Eagles Club in Port Angeles. They're always looking for new members, and with membership comes some pretty big perks, like discounted cover charges for events, live music, discounted facility rental, a whole lot more. They got a great bar, great food and snack options every day, and the friendliest service around. The Eagles Club offers something every day of the week, and it's football season, so check out Seahawk game day parties, 50-50s, paddle wheel, a whole potluck as well. Tuesdays, poker, 6 p.m. with a $20 buy-in. You must be signed in by a member. And Wednesdays, the Imperfectionists Music Jam Session is free. You got to be signed in by a member for that as well. Thursdays, Barstool Bingo starts up at 6 p.m. Sales start at 5:30. And Fridays, they have the Queen of Hearts raffle for members only with a current jackpot of over $8,000. Saturday evenings are for live music with some talented local bands. And on Sundays, they serve up breakfast open to the public, 9:30 until noon. Find out more by becoming an Eagles member today. Stop in or call 360-452-3344.
I'm County Commissioner Randy Johnson and honored to endorse Jerry Steffans to serve as our next OMC Hospital Commissioner for Position 1. I've served for 6 years with Jerry on the Clown County Board of Health, including during the pandemic. Jerry's a retired physician who helped found the Rediscovery Program. Because of this work, was voted as Citizen of the Year for the year 2022 by the Chamber. Jerry's knowledge of hospitals will make him the best choice to be your next hospital commissioner.
Paid for by elect Jerry Steffans.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Welcome back to the program. Time for our Bacon Bit. Our own Amanda Bacon sitting down with Leland Vittert of News Nation, the author of Born Lucky, A Dedicated Father, A Grateful Son, and My Journey with Autism.
Leland, hello.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Amanda.
It's truly an honor. First of all, your book is so fast selling before it even fully came out that AI people are like, hey, let's get in on this action.
Yeah.
So I do want to chat about that a little bit in a moment. But Leland, I first want people to hear from you why you've decided now to write this incredible love letter to your father and to your life and about who you are and open up now.
Well, it's a great question, Amanda, and thank you for having me on. This started as 700 words just about Dad and a thank you to him. And out of that has come this book, Born Lucky. And you're right, I have been surprised, humbled by the response. We've sold out on Amazon twice. We've had to go to reprints. It's pretty remarkable because people are responding to this message of hope for every parent who is struggling and having a hard time. And why now is because I think that we are at an inflection point in a reckoning about parenting in America. And parents so often are told about kids who have issues, just meet them where they are. And had my dad met me where I was, I would not be where I am today. I wouldn't be married. I wouldn't have my own national cable TV news show. So this is about giving every parent the hope that mine did not. Why didn't they? Middle of the 1980s, I was a little kid, 5 years old, and my parents were told they needed to have me evaluated. They take me to one of those little psychology testing centers, medical office buildings. And inside there's the waiting room, stale coffee, magazines. My parents are waiting for hours. And the woman brings me back and says, boy, we don't know what's going on inside this kid's head. I had severe learning disabilities. The IQ test is basically two halves of an IQ test. And a 20-point spread between the two halves is a learning disability. I had a 70-point spread, so from mentally retarded to genius. I was unable to interact with kids my own age, so I had real behavioral problems. And I had an emotional intelligence that if you could measure it quantitatively would have been somewhere near freezing. And my dad goes, okay, what can we do? And the woman says, not much. And then he says, is there anything we can do? And she says, generally not. So you combine all those things together. And my dad said at the time he felt totally hopeless. And this is to provide hope to every parent who has a kid with struggling, not just with autism, but with ADHD, anxiety, bullying, the difficulties of growing up, that there is an enormous amount that they can do to help their kid be more.
I find it incredible. I mean, it just really shows how great of a connection, obviously, you and your father had, that you grew up having a hard time interacting with people and talking to them. And now here we are. You interview people, you talk, you're known for speaking for a living. I mean, what is that in your mind? Do you think about that on a daily basis of I used to be here and now I'm here?
You know, Amanda, it's an interesting question. And in Born Lucky, I write that this isn't a cure. This isn't a prescription. This is my story. But part of my story is that I will always be autistic, right? I, on a minute by minute basis right now, when I'm on the air on my own show, I have to work. This is a discipline. This is a learned skill. You know, for somebody like you, the emotional and social connections come naturally. For me, it's hard work every day. And I think that is probably what is in many ways a missing message of how, yes, parents can do so much. And yes, it takes an awful lot of hard work. So this book isn't about how do you turn your kid who has all these issues into a cable news anchor. This is about how do you, as a parent, because it's a parenting book written by a kid, how do you inspire your kid and hold them and teach them that they can be more, even through the darkest and most awful times of life that we chronicle here, of the difficulties that I had growing up.
Leland, is there a story in particular in your book that you started to write down and kind of go over and rehash in your brain, and it triggered these memories of, my gosh, like this, I kind of forgot about this until just now, and crud, now I got to think about it.
Yeah, look, I learned in middle school and high school to switch my emotions off, right? So Seventh grade, I had already been through 2 schools that my parents had to pull me out of because of the bullying, and they start me at this new school in 7th grade. And 2 weeks in, they get called into the principal's office. They get sat down, and we've all been in principal's offices, and the woman starts with my parents, and they're thinking, hey, we're just here for a 2-week check-in, on and on. And the woman says to my parents, everybody at this school thinks Lucky is really weird. So arrow number 1 through my parents' heart. And then arrow number 2, and so do I. So that sort of tells you where we're at. I'm watching Amanda on Zoom. So for those listeners who aren't seeing the Zoom feed, you can see her face change. So that's what we were up against, right? And, it wasn't just the kids who bullied me. It was the teachers. So 8th grade art class, evidently the art teacher didn't think I was going to become Picasso. So we're sitting there in this art room with paintings and whatever else around. And the art teacher looks at me in front of everybody and says, Vittert, if my dog was as ugly as you, I would shave its bleep and make it walk backwards. So I would go home.
You are kidding me right now.
No, I'm not. And people who read Born Lucky will realize we don't use any names. I remember them, but we didn't use any of the names of people who were mean to me because we wanted to use the names of the people who were nice and show how much that meant. But that night, I went home as I always did. My dad would wait for me every day when I got home from school. And he said it was basically about trying to put me back together every day, which is what he would do. He would just sort of try to patch me back together. And what I didn't know, Amanda, until we started writing Born Lucky is that he would spend 2 or 3 hours in my room with me crying and taking out this anger and frustration and hurt and humiliation on him. And then he would go downstairs into our living room at our house, and he would be there in the dark crying himself because of what his son was going through. Yeah. My mom would find him in the living room 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think the most important part of that story is the next morning he would take me to school. Because in his words, it wasn't about taking the adversity away or meeting me where I was at. It was about holding my hand through the adversity and through the fire that he knew would help me succeed later in life.
I want to hug you so badly right now and apologize for all of the a-holes out there. Thank God none of them deterred you. Thank God you had your father who was like, no, my kid is weird in the best possible freaking way.
Well, I think, Amanda, and that's an important point. He didn't say you're weird in the best possible way. He said you've got great character, which he instilled. You need to have an incredible work ethic, which he instilled. But he was very clear with me that part of these issues were things that I needed to change. He worked endlessly, and sometimes if we have more time, I'll come back and talk to you about how to really adapt my behavior. He taught me how to adapt myself. So this wasn't about adapting the world to me and celebrating all of these issues that I had and saying you're perfect. This was about saying you're wonderful and I'm proud of you and I love you, but there's things we can work on to help you succeed, and being honest about that.
Well, bornluckybook.com is where you can get the authentic, real, true version of this.
Well, yeah, it's on Amazon. It's the one that's the bestseller. That's number 21 on Amazon right now. Barnes and Noble as well. You're making the note that somehow there's a lot of AI Leland Vitterts out there. So just be careful you're getting the right one, but it's easy to figure it out.
God bless you. You are amazing. I really would love to chat with you more sometime. You're just amazing. Thank you.
I'd love to, Amanda. Thanks to you and your listeners.
Oh, take care of yourself and give your wife my love.
All the best. And you can either go back through Michael or Leland@Vittert.com, which is pretty easy. And I will connect you with our team and we'll get something scheduled.
I would love that. Thank you.
All the best.
All right. Bye, my friend.
You can catch this Bacon Bit, all of Amanda's Bacon Bits, and our other programming that you might have missed on the air on our Radio Rewind site on our website at myclallamcounty.com.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Hi, this is John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, your local and family-owned company covering the entire Olympic Peninsula area. The difference with Tri-State Roofing is we separate ourselves with the quality of products we offer, customer service, including an A-plus rating with the BBB, solid safety plans, and the best labor guarantees around. Call 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Growing your family is an exciting journey, and the labor and delivery team at Olympic Medical Center is here to walk it with you. Our team tailors your birthing experience with you, offering the choice and security you're looking for from the comfort of OMC's Birth Center. Learn more about OMC's team of obstetricians, nurse midwives, RNs, lactation consultants, and more at olympicmedical.org/Stork Squad.
This is Lori Force, running for Hospital Commissioner Position 7. I'm a nurse practitioner with years of hospital experience. Now I volunteer at our local free clinic. I moved here knowing we had a vibrant community hospital. Like many of you, I would have hesitated to move here without it. Now our hospital's in financial crisis. We must balance our checkbook to stay open. To get it right, we must protect patient services, maintain quality and safety, and stretch every dollar. I can help strike that balance. Thank you for your vote.
Paid for by Force for OMC.
Thank you for 80 incredible years. This is News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The government shutdown is grinding into a fourth week and starting to impact American households. Furloughed workers are missing paychecks, and funding is set to run out for critical food programs. ABC's Selena Wang says lawmakers remain divided on a fix.
The Democrats, they are calling on President Trump to come to the table, but he's not willing to do so until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Well, Democrats, they are demanding an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies so that healthcare premiums don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. Now, it's not just a concern from Democrats. In fact, a group of Republicans wrote a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding that he immediately address this issue because, of course, those healthcare premiums impact their constituents as well, and open enrollment starts on November 1st.
Demolition of the East Wing of the White House began this week to make way for President Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. A White House official now says the entirety of the East Wing will be renovated. A preservationist group is hoping to press pause due to the size of the project. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
Now, Trump had said that the East Wing is being, quote, fully modernized as part of the process to build his massive $250 million ballroom, which he insists is privately funded. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging the administration to pause demolition until the construction plans can go through the legally required public review process.
The U.S. military carried out another deadly airstrike, according to two U.S. officials, on an alleged drug cartel boat last night, this one in the Pacific near Central America. It marks the 8th strike carried out by U.S. military on vessels, killing an estimated 34 people. Online dating just got a bit harder. Dating app Tinder announced that it will now require users to upload a video scan of their faces in order to sign up and search for the potential perfect match. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
In North Carolina, the state legislature approved new congressional maps today that would redraw a district in eastern part of the state. It potentially would give Republicans more seats in the 2026 midterm elections. It is the latest state to address redistricting behind Texas and Missouri. California voters will decide on new maps on a ballot measure aimed at counterbalancing the Republican gains, which could give Democrats an edge. One of the nation's largest retailers now pausing hiring of certain foreign workers due to changes in the visa process.
The Trump administration raised the fee for the H-1B visas that allow companies to hire certain skilled foreign workers. Companies now must pay $100,000 per visa application. The White House says this is to shore up jobs for Americans. Bloomberg reports that Walmart's now pausing hiring candidates who need H-1B visas. Government data in June showed Walmart had more than 2,300 employees on H-1Bs.
ABC's Brian Clark. A dramatic rescue off the coast of Massachusetts. Today, the Coast Guard says it rescued 3 people off Noshawn Island after receiving a Mayday call via marine radio. They were airlifted to Cape Cod Hospital. A concerned family member reported the vessel missing Tuesday night. The Coast Guard says after the vessel fire Monday night, the family abandoned ship and swam to a nearby island. Michelle Franz.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. One person's dead, 2 others hospitalized after a 2-car crash Tuesday evening on Highway 101 near Pierce Road. State Patrol troopers say a 64-year-old Marysville man driving a Toyota Scion turned left into the path of an oncoming Subaru Outback. Both cars ended up in a ditch. The crash closed the highway for more than 2 hours. The Scion's driver was pronounced dead after being flown to Harborview. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt. The Subaru's driver and passenger, both from Port Ludlow, were treated at Olympic Medical Center. Investigators believe drugs or alcohol were factors in that crash.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for isolated rain showers. Daytime highs approaching 57, westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for rain tonight, lows level off around 45, overcast skies. Rain likely tomorrow, 57, cloudy skies expected. Heavy rain likely Friday with highs in the mid-50s. Rain likely and highs in the upper 40s on Saturday. A peek at the extended shows, 49 Sunday, 49 Monday, and 49 on Tuesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 52 degrees.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird. So we are here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is The Ramsey Show. And I'm Rachel Cruz hosting this hour with my good friend and co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, George Camel. So we're here to take your calls. Give us a call at 888-825-5225. Up first, we have Sean in Springfield, Illinois. Hey, Sean. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, well, thanks for calling in. How can we help?
So basically, my question is, should I take a loan to pay off a debt? That way I have a little bit of breathing room so I can start baby step 1.
Should you take
Explain the math on that one. You're going to take out a loan to pay off another loan, and that somehow gives you breathing room? Aren't you just swapping one payment for another?
Yes, but if I took out the loan, I'd have a smaller payment, because right now the loan is $500 a month, and that plus rent plus my car payment and all my other insurance and groceries and all that puts me just barely making it by every month.
What would the payment be?
It'd probably be closer to $100 a month instead of $500.
By dragging it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a $400 swing. How much do you make a year?
Without overtime, about $40,000.
Okay. Are you doing overtime now?
I'm getting as much overtime as I can, and it's kind of our slow season right now, so whenever I'm not at work, I'm door dashing
Yeah.
to make some extra money.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I work in agriculture, so I move fertilizer to the fields and apply it.
Okay. Yeah, so getting into winter months, you guys aren't.
What's your total debt?
My total debt is $20,000.
And what is that? Break that down for us.
17 of it is for my car, and the other 3,000 is for this debt that I'm talking about.
Okay, for your car, have you Kelly Blue booked it to see what you could sell it for?
Yeah, it on a private party is worth about 11.
Okay.
So you're $6,000 underwater there, and you're saying the $3K debt has a $500 a month payment?
Yeah, it's currently, I believe it's considered in collections. It's $250 every paycheck for 11 more weeks.
And then you're done.
Well, 11 more payments when I'm done, yes.
I mean, Sean, I'll be honest, no. I probably wouldn't switch it because I feel like when you're getting out of debt or you're starting baby step one even, it's this gazelle intensity where you are working every minute of every waking day. If possible, you're door dashing on the week. I mean, you're figuring out a way to get out of debt faster. So, and a part of me kind of wants you just to figure out how to do it because this is going to help you get out of debt faster. $500 a month is a minimum payment versus spreading it out. And I understand you're trying to get that margin, but I would pick up that $400 somewhere else from an income perspective, honestly. Because, yeah, I feel like this is the reason why you would be gazelle intense. Like, this will fuel you. And instead of kind of like slow you down, because there's almost a level of, I understand what you're saying that, yeah, that $400 a month, but I want you to get $1,000 in the next 30 days. So I don't know how you're going to do it, but like that's the baby step one intensity. It's not slowing down the payments so that I can have more margin to do baby step one. It is, we're going above and beyond our normal to be able to find extra money.
Because that 3,000 debt's your smallest. So that's the next one to attack.
Yeah.
So I'd rather you putting more toward the principal, which is the 500, than putting 100 toward it just so you can get your baby step one. The key here is finding the secret sauce in your income to be able to do the baby steps, not to move the debt around and add more debt in order to try to make it work. Because that's not changing any behavior that got us here. And also that car is half your income. So that's another glaring issue here. And you're way underwater on. Did you roll over negative equity? Why is it worth so little?
So I got the car the beginning of September, and I needed
like
a
2 months ago?
reliable vehicle. Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
it
needed
already
a vehicle
dropped
that was
6,000?
reliable
It dropped
enough.
6,000 in like 60 days?
I am like 90% positive I overpaid for it.
So you got hosed at the dealership?
Do what? I'm sorry?
Did you get hosed